2nd Ezra 15, verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith Yahweh, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imagination against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Aki, and pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. We're here once again with another weekly edification. All right, as we opened up with to prophesy unto you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, and to feed the sheep, man. Let you know who you are. All right, give you that strength and that nourishing food to build you up into the times that we're coming into. All right, if you've been noticing over the last week, I mean, we had a lot of stuff that happened over the last week, which Lord's will we'll get onto. But hey, let's just look at the whole year, man. As far as we are in this year, man. All these different train derailments, economic collapses, heightened tensions with war, allies and enemies switching sides and things like that, man. All right, things are being beefed up very heavily right about now, man. All right, and it seems like there was a point in time, especially 2020 on down, where you had a lot of people starting to watch the news at that point in time. You had the pandemic. The majority of you Americans started tuning into the news and becoming so-called political at that point in time. But guess what? They beat you so much with it that you got tired of that, man. So you stopped watching. They give you all these different stories. I see it, man. I had, speaking to certain people that starting to get into these things like that, starting to watch the news stories and everything else like that. They get bombarded with it. And then they like, you ask them about I had to take a break from that for a minute. It's like, hey, this is how you get caught off guard, man. You're watching so many of these different stories and things like that that you, not to say you get numb to it, but you get to the point it's like, oh, I don't want to hear all these things, man. Or you dabble in the stories that have nothing to do with nothing, and then you get caught off guard with those things. But the thing is, let's read this here scripture real quick because that goes along with that. Let me find it real fast. All right, here we go. This is, yep, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. 1 Thessalonians 5 and 1. It says, but of the times of the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. And so going into these things, man, we understand that, people are going to get caught off guard with these things for multiple reasons. A, they're not watching. B, they were watching, but they were, bombarded with so much stuff that they wound up, hey, you know what, I don't want to watch that no more right now. I need to take a break. As soon as you take a break from certain things, just like in boxing, man. You sitting over here in boxing and your opponent keep throwing this here one jab at you, you keep blocking, you keep blocking, you keep blocking. Or, let's say you play video games, right? Those old fighting games, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter. And your little brother, your little cousin keep doing the same little sweet move, or whatever. And you get tired of that, like, all right, bro, you gotta have to throw something else. And as soon as you let your guards down, they hit you with something different. Like, oh, shit. Because you got so used to one thing, man. All right, but yet and still, hey, we understand that this is going to come like a thief in the night. So this is a prime time for things, people are starting to ask about these different questions. Now is the time to get all this information that you can't get out of these things, man. The Wadi Habashim Yahushua, the fact that, some of these people are starting to wake up to these, and you can see it in them, man. They're starting to research things on their own. They're starting to send you videos about, oh, you know about the petrodollar, you know about this, you know about that, and I'm taking all these things. But yeah, I mean, it's good that you understand these things, but also let's not get so used to these things that you don't want to look into these things. Well, what's the significance of this story, and what's the significance of that story, man? All right, let me read this other precept. This is Revelation. All right, Revelation chapter 19 and verse 11, or verse 10. It says, and I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, see that thou do it not. For I am thy fellow brother, thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua. Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. So this is one of the main things that we've been drilling in from the very beginning. Prophecy, 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 man. All right, and every week we come out and we open up with almost the same precepts, man. Dealing with prophecy. This is the reason you should be understanding these prophecies, man. And people, you have the milk and the meat. You start out as a baby, right? And as you get grown enough to start walking on your feet, you have to start understanding and learning new things, different things, man. It's good that you find out who you are, but now on top of those things and everything else like that, you can find the holidays and like the Passover, which to these heathens out here tomorrow, they about to celebrate Easter out here, man. All right, but yet and still, it's good that you know these things. It's good that you understand the new moons, the Sabbaths, and things like that. But how much more important All that is not really important if you don't understand prophecy, man. You over here planning for, let's say next year's Passover, more or less to say, all right, which is we just passed, it just passed not too long ago. But you plan for next year's Passover and everything else like that. Well, hypothetically, they introduce an MOTB tomorrow, right? What good is that gonna do you when you already got the chip, man? So it's important to understand these here prophecies, man, because as we go on day by day by day, let's go ahead and read that in Habakkuk, man, because this is what we see play out right before our eyes, man. Habakkuk 2 and 3. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." All right, and so, hey, we're at the point in time where these prophecies are starting to speak out loud, man. There was some years back where, we used to tell people about all these things coming to pass. They would all look at us like we were crazy, man. You all got a sign with a missile on there to say USSR. You know the USSR fell in 1990 something. The hell Russia finna do? Well, y'all don't have that same energy nowadays, now do you? You was talking about the war with Ukraine was gonna be over in a week. Here we go, a year later, man. Oh, the sanctions is gonna bankrupt Russia, but here we go a year later. Who's actually paying more money for everything nowadays, us or them? All right. You seeing your economy starting to collapse before your eyes the whole time you was over here thinking these things about them. So the pride of thy heart has deceived you, man. All right, this is the spirit of Babylon, man. All right, you've been taken for a loop the whole time. Hey, same with the chariots, man. Oh, y'all think that the Lord gonna come back in the so-called UFO and everything else? Y'all believe in UFOs? Y'all crazy. Now all of a sudden, what's on the mainstream media news? What are they telling you about, man? All right, the scriptures speak about that, man. Let's read that in Revelation 1 and 7, because these are the prophecies that are coming to pass right before your eyes, man. And guess what? When you go into your regular churches, these other religions and things like that, they're not telling you about no prophecies right about now, man. What the hell is Islam telling you right about now about what's going on in the world, man? When can you go inside one of these mosques and what's going on around? What's with all these? They don't have anything to tell you about these things, man. You go into your church on Sunday, what are they going to tell you what's going on in the world? They're going to look, brother, we got to pray, we got to sing, and you got to put money into the tip jar, man. But they're not warning you to prepare your soul for the things that we're coming into, man. All right, this is, I was just speaking on this, Revelation 1 and 7. It says, "Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. And they which also pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so, amen." So again, the understanding of the prophecies, man, and breaking down the scriptures. Most people, they go to church, they don't read the book of Revelations because it's sealed unto them. They don't understand these things. But even if you do start to read some of these things, now it should become more clear, man. People have this here misconception that, one day the Lord the sky gonna crack open in the clouds and he gonna come floating on the cloud or some shit. Like, nah, man. You over here looking for, you're waiting on some shit that's not gonna happen. Meanwhile, the whole shit's popping off in front of your face today, man. All right, the Lord coming back with the clouds of heaven and all the nations mourning because, what do you think that these militaries and these, the Pentagon and them is feeling when they see these chariots, man? What do you think that these tough-ass soldiers that's been in the military, they know their equipment. They know what the hell they got up under their belt. Like, look, bro, we got some shit that's gonna blow your shit all the way out from way down there, bro. We not worried about y'all last, man. And they got all their faith into that, and then all of a sudden this chariot pull up, and they missile defense systems is turned down, man. How do you think that these people start to react when they see these things happen, man? They're afraid, man. All right, and so this is the prophecy starting to speak for themselves, man. Though it tarry, wait for it, man. 5 years ago, not even 5 years ago, what is it, 2023? 4 years ago, you was thinking that so-called UFOs was something of a fantasy world. Nowadays, people are like, man, we don't know what the hell this is that's going on out there, man. All right, everybody's afraid of what's coming to pass, man. But guess what? It's only going to get worse with these things, man. All right, you're being systematically broken down of all the deceptions you've been told, all the lies that you believed in, everything that kept you all up. Hey, man, these military men out here are trembling, man. You talk to the real people in the military and stuff like that, they look, man. Look at Russia versus Ukraine, man. They've been telling you, we all superior. You got damn near 30 nations fighting against one nation and no recourse on that, man. And you trying to take them on? The Lord's about to put the spirit on these people to put these people to death, man. What's going on, brother? Y'all know y'all Israelites?
Something like that.
Y'all need to pray to the Most High and repent, man. But nevertheless, hey, man, this is the point in time that the scriptures speak about in the prophecies, man. This is why, again, this is important for you to understand the prophecies so you don't get caught like a thief in the night, man. All right, you have all these things that's going on around you at this point in time, which should be stirring up into your mind, bringing back into the memory of, look, the scripture spoke about that, man. The Bible spoke about these things, man. This is what's, every time you see these news headlines, this is what should be popping into the back of your mind, man. Precepts upon precepts, line upon line, man. Here a little, there a little, man. All right, but yet and still, hey, two-thirds of our people are what? Blinded, man. They're not going to get these things, man. All right, as the scriptures speak about, hey, and it's going to be, matter of fact, let's just read it in Matthew 24, because we don't want to butcher up the scriptures. All right, This is Matthew 24 and well, let's start up here at the top. Well, not the top, but verse 32. All right. Prime example of this is going on, but we'll read it first, right? Matthew chapter 24, verse 32, right? It says, "Now learn the parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves." Let me skip that for a second and jump down to a couple verses down, verse 36, Matthew 24 and 36, because this is the controversy that people have in their minds, and they don't understand the scriptures, man. All right, this is the importance of understanding the breakdowns of the scriptures, because so many people, you'll speak about things and then they'll have these default settings in their minds that they just go back to, and they keep repeating these things over and over and over again. Like, but it's clear in the scriptures what these things mean. Right now, we're reading the same chapter, but 2 verses down from where we just started at, and it's giving you the whole breakdown of these things, man. In fact, Matthew 24, like the scripture saying, 2nd Ezra 9, "Measure the times diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I told thee before, then thou shalt understand." So how are you going to understand? From the signs that was told to you beforehand. What are the signs that was told to you beforehand? We read verse 3. They ask him, "Hey, what's the sign of thy coming in the end of the world?" And the Lord gave them the whole breakdown about it, man. So people have it in their minds, oh, we don't know, we don't understand these things and everything else like that. But ultimately, it was already told unto you, man. All right? So Matthew 24 and verse... we didn't read this so much, the whole page that came out. But Matthew 24 and verse 36, it says, "But of the day and the hour knoweth no man, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only." And, you know, you have our people that'll use their scripture for their own comfort to cover their wickedness, man. Oh, no man know the day or the hour. No man know the day or the hour. Yeah, they're quoting it right, but they have no understanding of that, man. All right, now always bring it back to a woman giving birth, man. Yeah, you can go to the doctor today and the doctor tell you, yeah, you pregnant. Yeah, you know, you're X amount of time pregnant or whatever. And we all know that baby's coming, 9 months from there. So he could be like, all right, 9 months from now, you about to have a baby, right? But yeah, he telling you the season that you're going to have the baby in 9 months, but he can't accurately predict the day or the hour, man. I know somebody just recently had a baby and everything, and they were saying that, oh, the baby was, I got, X amount of time left. And then they was like, oh, the doctor said they wanted me to have a baby in 2 weeks. But the whole time, you thought you was going to have a baby at this point in time. Now they telling you it's going to be ahead of that time. We don't even know, you know what I'm saying? I don't really know if they had a baby or not. But nevertheless, this is the same thing. Hey, no man knows the day or the hour, all right? But what about the season? The whole chapter is about the season. We're in their season now where people say, hey, man, look, we don't know the day or the hour. Yeah, but we know the season based off of what? The prophecies. This is how we measure the times, man. We seeing all these things come to pass. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come and will not tarry, all right? It says, let me read that again. Matthew 24 and 36, "But of the day and the hour knoweth no man, but not the angels of heaven, but my Father only." All right, so you don't know the day or the hour, but the season, hey, we're reading all about that, right? So let's go back up. Verse 32. Again, this is the part that they don't understand, because the whole chapter is going into these things, but they're telling you, look, you'll notice the seasons, but you're not going to know the exact moment, right? We don't know the exact moment that woman is going to have, that baby is going to actually be born, man. You can't go in, when you find out that you're pregnant, know the actual day and the actual time, the hour that baby going to actually be delivered, man. All right, because, hey, some women, their water break, well, all women who get pregnant, their water break, but then their labor could last, 24 hours, sometimes even longer than that, man. So you don't quite even know. You be, oh, I'm about to go into labor today, about to have this baby right now. Now you up in the hospital for 2 days or whatever, giving birth, man. So as we can see it right about now, hey, we're at the point in time where we're starting to see that water break, man. All right, we're seeing all these prophecies starting to come through like a flood right about now, man. All right, but we don't know quite when that baby is going to be delivered, man. All right, and hey, that's the parable of Jake, man. We don't know quite when Jake, the actual moment Jake is about to be delivered, but we see that condition is starting up, man. All right, it's like, look, man, somebody gonna tell you a story about the Titanic, right? And they're gonna tell you from the end, like the Most High say. Let me just find that real quick. Isaiah. Oh. This is Isaiah. This is Isaiah. Well, let me start at verse 9. Isaiah 46 and 9. It says, remember the former things of old. All right, remember the former. Hey, we got a whole book full of things that the Most High told us. Let's read further on down. But the Most High told us, like we're gonna read here, from the beginning, and then all these things came to pass, man. He told us all the way to the end of each story before any of these stories happened, man. Told us how Babylon the Great was gonna fall before Babylon the Great even had his rise. Told us how Jake was going to be delivered before Jake even went into that captivity. Told us how Jake was going to reign over their enemies while they're still in captivity. Think about that. We hear about the kingdom of heaven, what the Lord is going to do for us and everything else like that, but we still in captivity, man. We ain't even had day one of possession of the kingdom, man. So it says, Isaiah 46:9, remember the former things of old, for I am Yahweh, and there is none else. I am Yahweh, and there is none like me. All right, it says declaring the end from the beginning. All right, declaring the end from the beginning. So just imagine that, man. You've never seen the movie Titanic. You don't know the story of the Titanic or none of those things like that, man. But yet and still, before you even watch the movie, somebody gonna tell you, hey, look, man, this guy here, he gonna wind up drowning in the water. Him and his bitch, they gonna be floating on this piece of, like a door or something like that. She gonna make it, and he gonna drown, and he gonna freeze to death, or he gonna freeze to death, and then he gonna just, go off into the water. Now, this is from the beginning of the movie. You hadn't even got introduced to the characters yet. Oh, I'm Jack, I'm so on and so forth. You ain't even got introduced to these people yet, and still, you know how they gonna wind up dying, man. Oh, they gonna hit an iceberg around this here point in time. The ship's gonna start sinking and everything else like that. Hey, this is how it is for us right about now, man. All right, the chick, let's just say hypothetically, is indicative of Jake being saved and delivered up out of there, but she hadn't even gotten into trouble yet. She hadn't even gotten on the boat yet. So we're like in the same scenario. Hey, we're on the boat at this point in time. All right, you had all the, Esau's kingdom would be the people on the ship, partying and drinking and everything, having all a good time. But then guess what? We're at the point in time where the iceberg, they hit the iceberg, man. Now Esau's kingdom is getting shaken up. Now you're starting to see the boat starting to sink and everything else like that, man. Now, like the scriptures say, how does it say? Let me see. This is, oh, we passed it. Hang on one second. All right, this is, this is, Lamentation 4:21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee, and thou shalt be drunken, and thou shalt make thyself naked. Right? So this is the point in time. So you, again, using the analogy of the Titanic and everything, you see them in the ballroom singing and dancing and everything. It's their point in time. Rejoice, live it up. Sooner or later, you about to hit that damn iceberg, and all those smiles are gonna turn into frowns, man. All that joy and happiness is about to turn into tears, death and mourning. But you at the point in time where you're living it up on the Titanic, man. The Titanic, when it was sailing, they was living it up. They was partying and having a good time until what? They hit that iceberg, man. And that was the beginning of the downfall of their ship. And now that's indicative to the downfall of this your kingdom, man. You had all these years of rejoicing and being glad and everything else like that. It's only been in these last couple years that you starting to have your downturn, man. Especially from 2020 when the pandemic hit, man. All right, a lot of these Edomites in their kingdom, man, it's sad for them now. All right, they're drinking more, more heavily on drugs, committing more and more suicide. All right, they're more and more depressed nowadays, man. Because, hey, they realize, using the Titanic as the analogy, they realize they've hit that iceberg, man. They realize they're taking on too much water. They realize what the future's going to be. Oh, man, the ship is going to sink, man. There's not enough lifeboats for us, man. What the hell are we going to do out here, man? All right, so this is the point in time that we're at, man. It says, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwells in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee, and thou shalt be drunken, and thou shalt make thyself naked. It says, well, let's just read the 22. It says, the punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no longer carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thy iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. So, hey, as one kingdom, as the scriptures speak about, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. That's where we at right about now, man. All right, so, hey, we see, going back to Matthew 24, no man knoweth the day or the hour, right? But at a certain point in time, like any engineer or anybody with a little bit of wisdom could have seen that once the Titanic hit that iceberg and they had that big-ass hole in the hull, man, like, it's only a matter of time for the ship sink, man. Like, this shit's taking on too much water. You can't even pump out more water than what you're taking in at a fast enough rate, man. All right, the ship don't have to be underwater at that point in time, but logically enough, like, hey, it ain't no return from that. Now they look at this here society the same way. It's called CTD, circling the drain. Hey, it's pretty much over for you now, man. All right. Going back to Matthew 24 and verse, let's just start back up at 32. It says, well, let me read first 36. It says, But at the day and the hour knoweth no man, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. So again, nobody knows the day or the hour. But again, we're not looking for the exact moment, man. All right, nobody know the exact moment that the Titanic was gonna go under, was gonna be completely submerged underwater. But at a certain point in time, they seen, oh shit, man, there's a big ass hole in the side of the boat. The boat's starting to sink. Whether it took 10 minutes to 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, nobody knew exactly how long it was gonna take for that boat to sink completely, right? Or for the last person that would be floating out in the water to wind up dying. But guess what? They could tell at a certain point in time, yeah, the boat going down. There's no saving this bad boy. Fuck it. All right, it's a total loss. All right, they knew that for sure. They couldn't tell you exactly when it was gonna sink, but they knew for sure that boat was going down. And we're telling you the same thing, man. Just because you don't know the exact moment that the last piece of the boat gonna be underwater, the last person gonna die. Don't matter if you don't know the exact moment. I can tell you from a sure shot that this boat is going down. It's not coming back up, bro. It's no saving this boat at this point in time, man. Especially as the boat that went under and it snapped in half. There's no saving this at this point in time. You got to be out of your mind. I mean, you can sit there and lie to yourself, like the scriptures say. The pride of thy heart has deceived you. You know, think about that. The pride of your heart deceiving you. The Titanic boat up in the air, front half snapped from the back half. And you still think, oh well, hey, the whole boat ain't in the water yet. We still got some time. We still alive right now. Don't bro. You deceiving yourself, man. All right, you might as well go ahead and accept defeat because this is what's going on. All right. It says Matthew 24 verse 32. It says, now learn the parable of the fig tree. When its branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, you know that summer is nigh. All right, and just to give you the example of that, let's use spring, right? How do you know it's the beginning of the year, right? Because guess what? You know, well, first of all, the end of the year, right? You have winter time, fall time, right? Everything starts falling off the trees and everything. The leaves start falling. Winter time, you got bare trees and everything else like that. That's the end of its life cycle, man. All right, but then in the very beginning, the rebirth of that life cycle is what? Spring, where all the plants start springing forth, all the animals start reproducing. How do you know it's springtime? Well, you start seeing little baby ducks, baby this, baby, all these little baby deers and shit like that running around. Oh, all the animals are reproducing. It's the beginning half of all these different things. All right, the plants start rejuvenating, pollen start coming all out, bees and butterflies start replenishing all the plants and everything. That's when you know the springtime is here. Everything is springing forth of life, man. So you can tell based off of just the seasons, man, where we at. All right, but getting still, it's the same thing here. Hey, look at the seasons. Check the time frames that you in. Check the temperature, man. All right. It says, verse 32, Matthew 24:32. It says, now learn a parable of the fig tree. When its branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, you know that summer is nigh. So likewise, ye, when you shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the door. So that's the same thing, you know, I was just going into. When you see these signs, know that it is near. It's even at the door. Just going back into the Titanic, man. When you see these things that are popping off and everything else like that, you know, when you see the boat starting to sink and everything, you know that this boat's about to go completely under. There's no saving this here boat, man. You see that you about to hit the iceberg, you know this is the end all be all for you, man. So going back into what? Measuring the times diligently, we can see and understand these things that's coming to pass based off of what? The signs that we was told before, man. All right, this is the importance of reading these here prophecies. The Lord gave us the whole rundown of these things that will be coming to pass so we can watch for these things. Like the scriptures say, hey, don't get caught like a thief in the night. This is why the scriptures say there's no need that we should write unto you, because what? We will be fully occupied in what? Prophecies, watching for the signs that the Lord gave us, man. All right. This is also the importance of the society that's breeding in the mindsets of the people. Hey, the Lord ain't real, man. The Bible ain't real. These things ain't real. Why? Because there's a plan. How do you say? There's a map, more let's say, a plan, a timeline, right? You know, hey, we always speak about that. 2nd Ezra 9, measure the times diligently in itself. Well, what's the measuring stick, man? When thou seest part of the signs past, which is what? The visions, the prophecies, man. So, hey, it would be indicative of these Edomites, if they got everybody else in captivity, for you not to know what the time frame is. You know, so for instance, this is just a real analogy, man. If you ever been to Las Vegas, or if you work in factories and things like that, right? Even in Walmart, they do this in Walmart as well too. And a lot of these big box stores, in the malls as well too, right? Also in prisons, they do the same thing in prisons as well too. The one thing that all these places all have in common, right? Just think about that: prison, Walmart, Target, the mall, Las Vegas and the casinos. You know, your warehouse job. They all have the one thing in common, or a couple things in common. One, they don't have time clocks in there. They don't show you what time it is. Two, they don't have windows in there to see, all right? You know, you ever notice there's no windows? The only windows that Walmart and them have is the doors that you walk into. Why is it like that, man? All right, now, for different, depending on where you at, and different reasons. Now they do it in jail so that you forget what time it is, and you know what I'm saying. You just do your time. It's almost like a punishment there. So you just think that you're there forever. You know, that's why you be locked up for 5 years and feel like, hey man, this is 30 years I've been up in the hole. They really want to punish you. What do? They put you in the hole, solitary confinement, 23-1 or 24-hour lockdown, man. All right. But when you go into Walmart and all these other places, they do this for your own, somewhat, so you can be comfortable and pleasured, so that when you inside the store, you forget what time it is. You don't realize you've been walking around Walmart for an hour. The longer you in the store, the more times you have to buy shit, man. I make this joke all the time when I be inside the little gas station by my house. I'm like, man, let me hurry up and get the hell up out of here before I buy some shit that I don't need, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and get up out of here. The longer I'm in here, the more money I'm about to spend, right? The casino's the same way too. They want you to sit there and not understand what time it is, right? And to see if it's daylight or nighttime. So imagine that you in the mall, you go in the mall and it's broad daylight outside. All right, and then you go inside and you come out and it's dark outside. You know, you ever been inside a Walmart or a mall or something like that? You go in when it's daylight, you come out when it's dark. Like, oh shit, it's dark outside. What the hell happened? Or the whole scenery changed, man. You go inside and it's a broad daylight. And you come out and it's storming outside, man. You're like, oh shit, what the hell didn't happen? That's like if that's ever happening to you, you feel like there's a time where time changed on your ass, man. Like, oh, how much time has really had gone by because you don't have anything to use that as a marker with. So, hey, the same thing is going on here, man. All right, you know, or again of Las Vegas, man. They want you to be comforted to sit down and just gamble, and everything else like that. So they're not gonna give you a clock in there to be like, oh, I've been sitting here gambling for 2 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours, or anything else like that. You know, they'll have you taken off of those things, so you'll sit there and lose time, lose track of time, and you'll spend more time in there. All right, so the same thing that's going on nowadays. Like I said, hey, bringing or in this society, where Esau has his rulership, he don't want you to sit there and be able to count the time and see where you at. What was that? I think it was Daniel who was knowing about the times, him knowing the times and everything else like that, saying that they was going to come up out of captivity. Let me see if I can find that real fast. I don't want to lose my point, but I want to say. I'd probably have to look it up. Basically, it was going into knowing the time that they were in. All right. But nevertheless, not getting too far off topic. Going back into just knowing the times, man. All right. So, hey, the point I was trying to make was the fact that Esau wouldn't have you to understand, you know, oh, the Lord ain't real, the Bible ain't real, and forget about these things. Because again, you can measure the times based off of the prophecies. This is one of the things that keep us so far, you know, ultimately it's the Lord, but your faith locked in, man. That's why it's important to be watching, man. Because you can see, oh shit, this is popping off. I know what's happening next, and this is happening next. And this. You ever watched a movie or a documentary about something that you know the whole story about already? Oh, this is gonna happen next because this is popped up. Oh, they about to show this scene and they about to show that scene. You know, let me think of something like you know, if there was a movie about a documentary, whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, hell, we give you this when you watch a movie about the Exodus. Once Moses, you know, you see Moses being raised up under the Egyptians and everything, and being raised in the Pharaoh's household. You know the Lord ain't finna come and destroy Egypt at that point in time because you've already read the story. Now, when Moses start finding out who he is and he say, let my people go, okay, you know the play. All right, it's about to get good out here. The plagues is finna start. Hey, this shit finna start popping off now. This shit finna start going left for these people real quick because you already know what the whole game plan is. Now, going back to Esau and his scenario, man, in the Bible, right? He don't want you to measure the time diligently in itself, man. Again, just like in the warehouse jobs and things like that, man. The reason they don't have those windows is they don't want you to sit there. They want you to forget about how much time you've been there at work. Because if you can sit there and you go to work and the sun is up, let's say you work like a 7 to 7, all right, type scenario or something like that, 7 at night to 7 in the morning, right? Now you go into work and it's you know, daylight. Now, as you inside of work, it start getting darker and darker and darker. Your mindset is like, damn, it was daylight, now it's getting dark, it's the end of the day. Now you getting off work and the sun coming back up. You feel that much more tired, man, if you can visually see all these things, man. All right, like I said, go and check any of these places, and this is why they don't have. There's no clocks in there. There's no windows in there, so you can forget time and either further pleasure yourself in it, like if it's a store or something like that, further pleasure yourself in there, the casinos and stuff, or for you to forget about the time, so that they can get you to serve your purpose a lot long, or not a lot longer. You can serve your purpose without more or less being upset about it. So, for instance, the warehouse job. They want you to come in there and work and not think about visually, because you would visually look. I done went to work. It's broad daylight now. It's getting dark. Your mom's gonna trigger. All right, it's time to just get up out of here, man. The day is over with. Nah, but we need you to work overnight, man. All right, or you working and the sun is coming up, man. Hey, they need you to forget about these things, man. Hey, if you work 7 to 7, 7 at night to 7 in the morning, right? You get off in the morning, early in the morning. All you brothers that has ever worked this here schedule know what it's like when you get off work at 7 o'clock in the morning. You go home and try to go to bed, and you at work yawning, all tired and shit like that. But as soon as you get home, you go try to lay down, and that sunlight is coming through your windows. It's hard as hell to go to sleep. And like one of the only fixes for that is what? Go get you some blackout curtains to simulate the darkness again, so that you can go back to sleep again, man. All right, because your body is wired to those things, man. So this is why they have these things, so that you can't measure the times and count the times. Either they want you to measure the time, you know what I'm saying, or they don't want you, to think about how much time you're spending in there for your pleasure or for your demise. Again, the casinos, they want you to be comfortable thinking. Because again, if you go in a casino and it's broad daylight outside and you gambling till it's nighttime, you like, oh shit, I gotta go home, man. It's getting dark. I forgot all about this shit. Or you in there gambling till the sun come back up. You're like, what the fuck was we in there doing? Strip club, you not even gonna say like strip clubs in the major cities, but they have like hole in the walls. In certain cities, they have like hole in the wall clubs, right? The main club closes at 3 o'clock in the morning. The hole in the wall clubs, they open up around 4 o'clock in the morning, man. 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I remember going to one in Atlanta, and I was like, yo, dog, what time the club closes? They said, when the last motherfucker leave. We didn't leave that bitch till like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. You leaving the club and the sun is coming up. You be like, oh shit, I didn't even realize I was in the club that whole night. And it's easy for that time to pass by because you inside and it's all dark. So imagine this. Esau then told us, oh, there ain't no God, ain't no Bible, all this is all fake, there's no props. They don't push all these things. Or if they do have you in church, they don't tell you nothing about prophecies, man. So what? You can't measure the times diligently in all of these things, man. So now you're not sitting here watching for these things. You're not occupied in prophecy. And the Lord, he might not be coming in my time. How many of your parents or your grandparents ever said that since you was born? Oh, it might happen, but not in my lifetime. It ain't gonna happen in my lifetime. No, not in my lifetime. And maybe in your lifetime, but not in my lifetime. But see, none of these people understood or read the prophecies, man, and measured the time diligently. Now we're at a point in time now, I be telling folks that's like, my parents' age or people that's like more or less older than me, like, hey, the ones that's kind of like watching a little bit of stuff, like, hey, you never thought that in your lifetime you would see these things come to pass, man. And the difference between them and people of the same age is, now these people are starting to watch and count, measure the time diligently by looking at the news and the prophecies. Oh shit, they getting ready for the MOTB, mark of the beast. It's crazy how same people of the same age bracket, growing up my whole life, they would talk about the mark of the beast. They would always have it in, well, my father's a little different because he used to tell me way back in the days, I was, this was early to mid 90s, 93, 94. I'll write about how they were going to have the mark of the beast, right? They're going to put a small computer chip inside of you. You know what I'm saying? At that point, I didn't have the technology, but, he used to tell me about these things. So, some people knew about it, but the majority of people out there, they're like, oh, well, we don't know what the mark of the beast is. We don't know about these things. It's not going to come in our lifetime and this and that. Like I said, you have the same people of the same age. You have two different people, man. One that's actually watching these things and seeing these things come to pass and understanding what's being spoken about in the scripture. Then you have those other ones that's, no, it ain't gonna happen in my lifetime. I don't know about this. But you don't even understand technology, man. You don't even have a goddamn computer. You don't even have a smartphone. So you just still stuck on this old dinosaur where you don't know how far. Not saying, because you have these things, but you would at least know where the technology is at, man. Like, oh, bro, your cell phone can do all that for you. Like, yeah, the phone you can do all this shit off the phone nowadays, right? You still got some old folks nowadays that's using old technology. Let's say, for instance, they over here still writing you letters in the mail and putting it in the mailbox and shit like that. You be like, yo, you could have just emailed me, which that's still an old way of doing. So, you could have just texted me that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? But that's just going forth to the people that's not watching, man. But those are the ones that are getting caught like a thief in the night because why? They're not measuring the time diligently. All right, there are these people that's so-called in this here room, all right, without the time clock or without the windows, man. But those with the time clock and the windows that's around, they're able to do what? Measure the time diligently because they're constantly watching. We looking out the window. We see what's going on, bro. We see what's popping outside, man. All right, we know what's going on out here because of the fact we looking, we watching. So it's another reason why Esau would have you not understand about the scriptures, why prophecy isn't important to teaching in the churches, or when they try to dismiss all these things. Because when you talk about the Bible, man, that should be the number. Besides, we got over the hump of who the Israelites are and who the Lord's people are. That's a very important thing. But that's like your foundational block, man. That's how you understand the key to unlocking all the Bible, man. All right, but then you have the prophecies, which is going to tell you where you are in the scriptures, man. All right, but yet and still, if you can't find out where you are in the scriptures, I mean, really, not to say that nothing really matters, but I mean, how your faith gonna really get built up? You just thinking, oh, I'm an Israelite, I'm in the captivity under Esau and everything. I just woke up to this. So we at the beginning of our captivity. We're gonna be here for a long time. We're gonna be here for generations on end. Then you might just lose the faith. But what happens if you wake up? Oh, I'm an Israelite. We in captivity under Esau's rulership. But we at the end of his captivity. We at the end of all these things. Jake is waking up. The Lord is gathering his elect. The chariots is showing up. The missiles are being prepared. The mark of the beast is about to be rolled out. Hey, boy, we about to be up out of here, man. That's going to give you that excitement. And you do have some brothers that wake up to the truth. As soon as they wake up to the truth, they be super hot and on fire, almost to a fault. That they go and quit. They find out they quit their jobs, man. That's almost the spirit you should be in. But ultimately, we still, it's sweet in your mouth but bitter in your belly. You start realizing, hey, we're going to be here for a little bit longer. Not long, but, relatively, the scenario and everything else like that, man. All right, it's just like you in class, and you in the last period of the day, right? And the classes, let's say the class is an hour long or 30 minutes long. Last 5 minutes. The teachers, and you over here packing, the bell about to ring in like 3 or 4 minutes, and you start packing up, and what the teacher say, hey, hold up, don't start packing up now. All right, the bell ain't, you still got 3 minutes left. That's where we at right about now. We're used to having people starting to pack their bags up, you know what I'm saying? And but in reality, man, you still got about 3 more minutes left, right, of this here class. You still got 3 minutes left of note taking and everything. If you don't take these notes here at this point in time, guess what? This might be the answers to the test tomorrow, man. The pop quiz or whatever, but getting still, hey, this is why we have to stay locked in and stay focused on these things and keep measuring the times diligently so we can know where we are and how we should be moving in this point in time, man. All right, because you have some groups that's out there that's, oh, let's build us a black community, a black society and everything. Let's go do our own little Israelite. Well, they ain't using black, at least. They'll say Israelite community. I'm like, bro, this ain't, bro, why would you try to make a stay in this here place that's about to get destroyed, bro? Well, that don't make no damn sense. Obviously, y'all ain't measuring the time diligently, or you don't know the full prophecies, man. You don't know what's going to happen to this here place as far as it being turned into the lake of fire. Either that, or you don't know the time frame of when it's going to happen. So, hey, this is, the importance of this here prophecy that's going to take place, man. All right, let's go back into Matthew 24. Matthew 24 and 32, it says, now learn a parable of the fig tree. When its branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, you know that summer is nigh. So likewise, when you shall see all these things, all right, what things? We didn't read it, but you can read the chapter, Matthew 24, all right, because again, let's just give you a quick overview. Matthew 24 and verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us when these things shall be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world. And Yahweh's response would be what? Giving them the signs and the times, man, that you should be measuring and be looking out for, all right? So, going back, it says, Matthew 24 and verse 32. Now learn the parable of the fig tree. When its branch is yet tender and he putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So likewise, when you shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the door. And that's where we at right now. It's near, even at the door, man. All right, and just imagine that. You running from somebody, like in a scary movie. You're running from somebody, and you get a little lead, and you running through these apartment buildings or whatever, and you find an open door. You go inside the door, you go in the corner, you all in the corner like this, but guess what? They at the door, they beating on the door, boom, 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 boom. Or let's just say even the police, man, you about to get raided or some shit. You know what I'm saying? You out there, let's just say you out thugging it, right? You out living your life, drug dealing and killing, all these different things, right? You have your time up on top and everything, but then now you're talking about something other. You see the police cars sitting around the house, they watching you and everything else like that. You know that your time is growing short and everything. What's going on, my man? You know that your time is growing short, but then there's a difference now where the police is now surrounding your house. Oh shit, they outside and everything. They about to come in. Yeah, but now once they mount up and they get to your door and they start beating on the door, boom, 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 police. Hey man, you know it's only a matter of time before they break the door down at that point. So it's not like they still doing what they call research or their investigation on you. Nah, bro, they about to kick that bad boy in. It's about to go, it's about to go digital about in that bitch, man. But this is the point where we at right about now, where the prophecies are now at the door. They beating at the door. Boom, 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 boom. That wall is about to break down. It's about to come in like a whole flood, man. All these prophecies are about to start taking place. Salakia. All these prophecies are taking place at this point in time that we see them, man. All right, coming through like a flood right about now, man. So now it's here. It's even at the door, man. All right, hey, it's only a short amount. The only thing between you and that is that door breaking and then that flood coming in, man. All right, so hey, we only have a couple things scriptures speak about. Behold, well, we'll come back to that. This is Job 20 and verse 22. It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits, and every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fear of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So when he's about to fill his belly, the Most High is going to rain it upon him while he is eating. It says, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow still shall strike him through. So just going into that, man. Hey, when he's about to fulfill his new world order system, and look at the times that we're in right about now, man. You have to understand what's really, really going on with things. People think that, this is the end of the society, the end of the kingdom, which it is the end of Esau's society and his kingdom. But from his perspective, he has a plan. His plan and the Most High's plan is running parallel. But at the very end, they're going to make their different turns. The scriptures speak about the deceived and the deceiver are his. All right, Esau, think about it, man. Esau's plan is the same plan as the Most High's plan, all the way up into the end. See, Esau thinks, as the scriptures say, that basically that he's going to go on from generation to generation. There was really going to be no end to his reign or nothing like that. But the Most High, hey, the pride of thy heart has deceived you. He's going to be an end. But see, Esau's plan is what? What they call population reduction. All right, getting rid of half these damn people and everything else like that, bringing total hell upon earth. All right, to accomplish these things, man. All right, he has a saying of the phoenix rising out of the ashes. All right, or how do they say, not really a rebirth, but they're gonna come back up and rebuild themselves, man. That's another precept as well too. But let me see. That explains what I'm trying to say. All right. This is. Let me just read from the point. Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4, it says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. And, that's going back to prior to the Renaissance era, right? Esau was going to come out of them caves. They was destitute. They was going to come back and rebuild things, right? But the Most High, ultimately, we'll read, the Most High was going to destroy them. But, hey, the same plan that they have at this point in time, hey, we'll destroy everything, but we'll just rebuild and come back, and we're going to be straight. They got a lot of TV shows and movies that's quite like this, whether they caused it or somebody else caused it. But there's a show, I hadn't watched the whole show, but you can pretty much get the whole gist of it in the first episode, right? You can just watch the first episode. Hell, maybe even the first 10 minutes of the first episode, you get the whole shebang of the whole goddamn season and everything else like that. I couldn't watch the shit because they had so much rebellion in there. I mean, it hit so close to home to what the scriptures are speaking about. Whereas, I think the show's called The 100. The premise of this here show, it comes on, and I don't know if they show you, maybe they show you in a later episode, but the premise of the show is something didn't happen on Earth, right? Where Earth, basically what happened on Earth was it was a nuclear war. Everything's all fucked up. They don't know if they can be on Earth because, let's just say, the radiation or whatever it is, right? I just gathered maybe they went to war and there was radiation all over Earth and everything else like that, man. But there was some people, and they said that they took the prisoners, right? If you committed certain crimes, you would basically go to prison, and they would put you into these, like, basically, like how you have the International Space Station, right? Something similar to that, right? They would have you up in space, floating around like the International Space Station, but you would be pretty much locked up in a prison up there, right? And they had these people that was up there, and then what they was doing was, and then they had some other folks as well up there as well too, like the higher up elites, right? And you had some doctors and stuff running experiments. But after a certain point in time, right, after the dust settles and the radiation is gone, the whole planet Earth, all the people on the Earth is all dead, what do they plan on doing? Just look at Esau's plan, man, making these space stations and all these different things, man. All right, their plan was after a certain amount of time, all right, they was gonna, in the show they was running out of oxygen and shit, so it's like, oh, well, we gotta go, it's either now or never. But the reason they had the prisoners on the ships was so hey, we're gonna send them down there first to see if if they live, cool, we'll go down there. If they die, then fuck it, we know we gotta wait up here a lot longer, or it's not gonna work. But their plan was, hey, once the Earth is destroyed, we'll go back down there and we'll rebuild it. We'll have our own shit popping off, man. Look at what Esau's plan is. We're still going. All right. Look at what Esau's plan is, man. All right, let's make nanobodies, transfer the spirit into the computers, update us in the AI and everything. So, hey, we can just live forever. We can blow up the whole planet Earth and all the Israelites and everybody else in it, and then we'll just come back. We'll be popping, man. This is the mindset to these people, man. Let us destroy everything. We'll be in the bunkers and stuff. We'll come back out. We'll be in this international space station. This is the whole plan of those things. That's the whole point of the international space station, was nothing more than what? An experiment to see how long people can live in space, man. Or Earth's upper orbit, if you want to be technical about it. But, like I said, watch the first episode of the TV show. It's called The 100, right? And they go up into these things. And, like I said, I couldn't really watch it because they was being rebellious. Like, damn, the Most High, granted, this is from the Edomites' perspective. But, you know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, Jake is going to be taken up in the chariots as well, too, but being brought back down. But they're not going to be in a position like that, right? Esau tried to mingle himself into somewhat of the blessing, but, they had these people go up, and as soon as they come down, the first thing that they do is start rebelling. Like, bro, y'all done been preserved, and the first thing you plan on doing when you get back down is to do what? Rebel? You know what I'm saying? That's why I couldn't get in the show. But like I said, it shows forth of Esau's plan and what he planned on doing, man. All right, he said, hey, look, we're going to go destroy the earth, but we're going to come back and we're going to rebuild up after that, man. All right, so the same thing you have going on right about now. Esau's plan is to, hey, let's tank all the, how you say it, tank the global economies, tank the global currencies and things, or tank all the nation's currencies and bring in what? A new global currency. Let us break down all the borders and all the nations. Look at what World War I birthed. What was it, the ECC? The European, what was it called? The European something commission. Then they had the second one, World War II, which brought in, what do you call it? United Nations, right? They have these different groups and everything else like that, right? But ultimately, what you look at, so to give you a prime example, you had like Europe collectively, the countries that make up Europe collectively, right, is now basically one country now. It's called the EU, right? They have, it is still, different countries, but hey, they pretty much don't have no borders nowadays. They cross the borders. Hey, we still the same spot. All our paperwork work here and there, here and there. Hey, it's kind of like the United States now. You got each state got your driver's license, got this, you got that, so on and so forth. But literally, you can go to a whole nother state and cross the borders. Ain't nobody really checking for you like as if you leaving out from Texas to Mexico. You got to show some paperwork type of shit. But hey, this is what became of these things, man. Breaking down borders, bringing you closer and closer to a global, not really just a global economy, but a global total family, man. All right, you got these NATO, the UN military, the peacekeeping troops. This is all a collective state, man. But Esau is ruling over top of all these things, and to do what? Ultimately, hey, get rid of Jake is the first and foremost thing, because that's that beacon that's bringing the Lord back to even challenge us, man. Because there's people over here, we got people in captivity. If we can get rid of them niggas over there, he's not gonna come back. You know what I'm saying? And he, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so let us get rid of them, and we'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? Even though we know this is not gonna happen, you can get us down to one righteous Jake, man. The Lord's still coming back for him, man. So, hey, the pride of thy heart has deceived you for real. But ultimately, this is what Esau's plan is. Let's go ahead and destroy everything and build back up. That's why he's tanking these economies and things like that to bring in what? That, the MOTB, man. Ultimately, you hearing about these CBDCs and things like that, which is a new, how you put it, a new platform, more or less to say, to trade on, man. All right, and first they got, they opening up with it now. And they're gonna start with what do you call these big companies and big transactions and things, and then ultimately they even tell you the ultimate plan is to get it down to the me, you, him, and her, man. But first they're gonna start with these big businesses and things like that to make these huge transfers and everything, so you don't have to wait 2 and 3 business days to wire money and everything else like that. But ultimately, this is what they're selling it for. But ultimately, we know that what their game plan is, man. All right, they want to be able to have everything tracked and traced and everything else like that, man. All right. So we finished reading that. Let's go back. It's Matthew 24. It says Matthew 24, and let me just start back at 32. It says, Matthew 24 and 32, it says, now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branches yet tender, he putteth forth leaves. You know that summer is nigh. So likewise, when you shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the door. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. And I spoke about this earlier in the week about, the earth about it forever, right? That the fact of the matter is, look, heaven and earth that they're talking about is this rulership that's on the earth and the things that you have going on in the earth. Like, for instance, the Instagram lifestyle, TikTok, and all this bullshit, all the shit that we got going on nowadays, man. All OnlyFans and all this shit's all that's gonna pass away, man. All right, heaven and the earth, Esau's rulership, him being in rulership, the things that we doing, how we got things going on, all this is about to pass away. But the Lord's words is what's gonna abide forever. Jake getting the kingdom and ruling forever. Yahushua ruling over top of these other nations and things. All that's gonna abide forever. But what you see going on right now, Esau and his rulership, TikToking and all this, Instagram, all of this is going out the window, man. So, hey, heaven and earth is gonna pass away, but the Lord's word is gonna abide forever. It says, But of that day and hour knoweth no man, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. It says, but as of the days of Noah were, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating, drinking, marrying, and giving into marriage unto the days that Noah entered into the ark. Now, I'm going to give you a little side note. A little earlier, I asked these people if they knew they was Israelites, man. All right, because when they came around the corner, I was going to bring this here point up at that point in time. Now, when I had opened up, right when I was opening up, you had this Edomite, and he just left a little while ago. You had an Edomite that came, it was coming around the corner, he stopped, and he sat down. He wasn't even coming this way. When he came, he sat down, and he stopped, and he was listening the whole time, man. All right, and he was kind of faking the funk like he had some music playing, but he was over there just listening, man. A little fucked up looking Edomite at that, too, like he was on some shit. But anyway, he was walking, changed his whole direction, came back and sat down and was listening, right? Sometimes they be doing that shit. They be trying to peep what's going on, you know what I'm saying? But they don't want to be so-called outed, right? Jake came around the corner, right? And they stopped a little while, and it was a dude and his chick. They stopped for a little bit, was listening a little bit. As they started coming down this way, let us just go. Kept on moving and everything, because that's what we were speaking about, knowing and measuring the times and knowing all these things, and why it's important to know these things, man. And it's important to understand prophecy so we can know where we at, right? We was reading about no man knoweth the day or the hour, right? But at the same time, I was going to read what we just read about the days of Noah. They were eating, drinking, and giving into marriage, right? At that same point in time, we were reading that. Oh, time to go now. They talking about us. We out here just living it up. How you say, you cut, man. All right? Instead of just listening and repenting, or at least getting a little bit more of the word. Esau sat over here for damn near, we going 52 minutes now. Esau was over here for the better part of 45 minutes, more or less, more than that, because he just literally walked down the block. The other Jakes stood there for maybe like a minute or so, and then just started moving down the block, man. Too much pride over here walking with his old lady and everything. But that's the thing, you eating and drinking. I asked, hey, you know about you an Israelite? Yeah, something about that. And kept it on moving, man. But yet and still, hey, man, instead, we out here for you. We're not out here for Esau. We over here prophesying against Esau and eat him in his society and everything. But guess what? And that's the thing. You can tell about our people versus these Edomites, man. Esau sat here for damn near 45 minutes, all right, hearing about his kingdom going down. Like, hey, and this dude is fucked up out here, man. But still, he in a better position than most of us Jakes out here, man. He got the right complexion to be sitting out here walking around all either homeless or on drugs. Ain't nobody gonna question him. But let Jake be walking around out here just getting off of work in some work clothes. Oh, no homeless people around here. I'm like, bitch, I ain't homeless. I'm just getting off of work. I'm working construction right there. Like, bitch, my car right there. What you mean? Oh, y'all need to get up off the block. But see, Esau got it better off than us. But yet and still, Jake, this is for Jake, man. We over here prophesying to build you up, to let you know who you are. Jake want to walk on down the block. Oh, I'm too good to hear all that and everything. But that's the spirit that you can tell between our people and Esau, man. Esau will sit here and listen for a little bit, man. Whether he agree with it or not, Esau got down the block, you know what I'm saying? He walked right on past and ain't really want to just, say what's up or nothing else like that, but kept it moving, man. Right? But then Jake did just walk on down, keep it moving, ignoring the word, man. They over here, well, we can read it, what they be saying, man. All right? This is, just dropped it. Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 9. This is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord. Right? So as we started reading into these things, they don't want to hear. Like I said, Esau sat down there for more than 45 minutes, man. From the opening scripture, all right, till a little while ago, man. Not even 10 minutes ago, man. Esau sat over here the whole time listening to what we were saying. Jake couldn't even be on the block for 10 minutes, man. They all, dressed up. He got his little rib with him and everything else like that. They out here living it up, eating, drinking, marrying, and giving into marriage. Not saying they getting married or whether they married or not, but they out here with the it's the weekend and it's Easter weekend, so you got some festivities and shit going on around the corner. That's what they out here doing, man. Enjoying the time. Nah, we out here just living it up. We don't, bro. You fucking raining on our parade, man. I'm out here with my old lady. We doing X, Y, and Z. They don't want to hear this, man. They don't want to hear about the future, man. And in reality, we can read that as well too. But the point is, let's just read it actually, because this is a sad but true scenario that we see going on here, man. All right. John 3:19. And this is the condemnation, that light is coming to the world, and men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. And everyone that doth evil hated the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. Now, again, that's the spirit, because Jake versus Esau will sit here and listen to the condemnation coming unto him, and he'll sit there and not to say bask in it, but he'll just be like, yeah. And internally, you'll be able to see it. They'll be just sitting there coming to grips with it, man. Some of them be smoking and stuff like that. You see them pulling out a cigarette and be lighting up and as they going through it, because they know that that's what the hell going on, man. You know, they even have songs like this. There's that Ed Sheeran song, Make It Rain. Listen to that song. Ed Sheeran, I think it's called Make It Rain, but from Ed Sheeran, and it's a song written, let's just say, from an Edomite perspective, knowing that all this shit coming to an end, right? And he's just, oh, fuck, you know, I didn't live deliciously, but I know that there's an end that comes to this shit, man. Or there's another song, I think it's by a group called Alice in Chains, I believe it is, called Down in a Hole. That shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, from their perspective, it's like a sad song for their ass. They know that it's going down for them, man. They like, fuck, man, it's over, man. Look that song up, Down in a Hole. All right? But anyway, and look at the lyrics. Read the lyrics of what they saying, because like I said, this is what the hell is going on. Those are two, I'm telling you, pause the video, go look up them songs and listen to the lyrics. Look at the lyrics of what they saying. But Esau is like that in the spirit. He'll sit there and listen like, yeah, I see what's going on. I know what's going on, blah, blah, blah. But Jake, they don't want to hear this, man. Their deeds were evil. They're like, nah. He about to rain on our parade. We out here getting it and everything else like that. Nah, I don't need to be hearing all, I don't need to be feeling all convicted about what the hell I got going on, man. Let me get on down the block. And this is another reason why Jake be bucking up. Because they want to, it's just like a woman, man. Women that's out here, these Tatianas out here, man. These whores that's out here, man. Whenever you tell people, these women, about what they should be doing, what do they say? You can't judge her. Let her live her own life. It's not about the her that she's talking about. She's really talking about herself. If you judge her, that means you about to judge me for doing what the fuck I'm doing. So you can't be out here telling them what the fuck to do, because what I'm doing is wicked as well too. And I don't want nobody in a misery love company, but also wickedness do too. So this is why our people, the scripture say, well, let's read it again. It says, well, let's start at 19. John 3:19, and this is the condemnation, that light is coming to the world, and men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil, right? So, hey, these women, I'm using the example of these women, right? They don't want you to call out what these other women is out here doing. When women go do some foul, they have a thing called the sister code. They even know what the hell they be doing is wicked, man. You had these stories about these chicks, or this chick going out on a date with this dude, and she mad at him because he's supposed to pay for her and all her homegirls and everything else like that. When you read the comment section, all the guys are like, why the fuck would we be paying for you and all? I asked you out on a date, not all of them. But guess what? All the comments from the women down there, if you want to date her, you got to take her and her friends. None of them is really into no shit like, because none of them would give that advice to their sons when going out on a date. The reason they say these things, the reason they don't want to come to the light, because their deeds were evil as well too. They want some other dude to sit there and be in that wickedness and be like, yeah, you got to pay for me and all my homegirls. Or if she's the homegirl, to get her shit paid for, just so that they can come up. It's only convenient when it benefits you. So this is the same thing that you have going on with our people, man. They only want to hear things that's so-called convenient or beneficial unto them. But if it's not beneficial unto them, we don't want to hear all that, man. If this is going to cause the rain of my parade and everything, we don't want to hear about these things. So, hey, this is why it's not so-called convenient for them to hear the truth, man. This is why they hide from hearing the truth, because they just want to be cloaked into the, how they say, what I don't know can't hurt type scenario, man. But, hey, this is the fallacies that our people have when they want to hide from the light, because, hey, in the light you can get cleaned up, man. You take that mirror and you look inside, you know what, I am going off. I can't fix myself, man. Yeah, you watch boxers and things like this, man. or football players that don't want to watch their highlight reels or their own tapes of what they out there actually do. Nah, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see it. Hey, a good fighter will sit there and watch his fights where he done lost and everything else like that to see where he getting weak at. Oh, actually, every time I did take that hit, I always did this first. So what? So that he can get better. But somebody who don't give a damn about getting better, they don't want to watch with that, man. Fuck that old tape, man. I don't want to see myself lose again. Well, how you going to ever get better from that, man? All right, so this is the condemnation. They love darkness rather than light. So, hey, our people walk on right on down the block, man. But be oblivious to the things that's going on out here, man. All right, you in the cups of a lot of these things going on, and I want to speak on this. This is what I wanted to get into. But, hey, we just flow where the spirit is going, man. All right, you know, and it's funny that last week, I didn't even realize that my shit hadn't cut off last week till I was halfway through. But, hey, right where I was starting to preach it about these wars and things going on, now look at where we at this week, man. All right, you know, with, you know, the heightened sense of all these things. But you have these nations like, matter of fact, let me, I'll drop that precept. We'll just grab some more. But anyway, going into, you know, with this here, situations with, you know, BRICS, Saudi Arabia, things like that, man. What you have to understand about these things is the fact of the matter of what happens with, somebody sent me a video about this, about the whole petrodollar. This is something big that was in the news this week, and people don't understand the importance of these things. Yeah, Babylon ain't falling today or tomorrow like that, but it's in the process of these things. These are the catalysts that get the ball rolling, more or less to say, man. All right, and, you know, they were speaking about, you know, the petrodollar and everything else like that, but then you have the BRICS nations and what they're trying to do and how they're trying to replace, you know, or what was that? Was it Saudi Arabia, I think, and China? One of them nations like that is making deals to sell oil in their own currencies, man. All right, which these are signs of certain things. Hey, we want to get up off of this system and build another system, which we know that America got their grip so far into everybody else. It's not that easy. A lot of these things are just talks. But what are they programming you to understand about these things? What normally happens, we can go back to Iraq. What was the reason that Iraq was invaded and Saddam Hussein was killed, man? The real reason why. What was the reason that Libya was invaded and, well, it wasn't really invaded, but what was the reason that Muammar Gaddafi was killed out there in Libya and his country was taken over, man? All right, you know, why was John F. Kennedy assassinated? Why was Abraham Lincoln assassinated, man? All right, why were these nations overthrown like this, man? What happened into these different nations and these people of why, you know, from their action, the only reaction was a swift execution. All right, well, JFK, right, he, I forgot what the hell exactly he did, but it had to do with money, though. Well, let's go back to Abraham Lincoln. Switched off, tried to switch, well, he did, but he immediately reverted back. Switched off to what they called a greenback, right? A dollar that was produced by America. Your money's not being produced by America. You know, America, well, in the Constitution, they have the right to create their own money, but you go back to certain things, was it, not the Bretton Woods Agreement, this was before that. I think it was, well, was it 1933 or whatever it was? But anyway, they made, basically, you had a fiat currency. The money was no longer backed by, like, gold anymore. It was, you know, and it wasn't produced. At that point in time, the United States government produced all this here money, man. You can even go look up, go to some of these websites where they sell vintage coins, vintage money and stuff. You can find old money from America that America used to print and everything else like that. They had different denominations of bills, all kind of shit, man. The currency that you see now is really not American currency. It's the Federal Reserve currency, man. All right, but yet and still, you know, hey, not going too far in the money. You see some of them dollar bills with the blue seal on there, or a blue seal or a red seal. Sometimes even yellow seals on it, man. All right, versus I don't got no money on me either. I'll show you, but let me see. Maybe I do have some money on me. Nah, I don't got no money on me. But if you look at these bills, it'd be better to look at it on a $1 bill, man, because those are still around for a while. And I don't know if the new bills have them on there, like the new hundreds and then all them. But let me see. Yeah, I don't have no cash on me. But nevertheless, you can look at these different seals and stuff. It's just older money. But nevertheless, the point I'm trying to get is, you had your boy Abraham Lincoln try to switch it. We switched up the currency, but they immediately switched it back. They shot him. John F. Kennedy, same thing. What his situation was, I forgot what his was immediately, but it had to do with the dollar as well, too. They shot him as well, too. Now, they thought, oh, it was this, it was that. Like I said, go look at what all these people have in common. Saddam Hussein, right? You understand the petrodollar, right? Let's just give you a quick rundown. If you want to buy, sell, refine, do anything with oil, anything you got to do with oil, you need the American dollar to do this. This is what props America up as far as being, you have two things that prop America up. The petrodollar is one, right? Because America is a consumer nation. So to give you an idea of what goes on, you have two nations that don't have shit to do with America, right? Germany and let's say Iran. Germany want to buy oil from Iran, and they say, hey, we want to buy $100 million worth of oil from Iran. Okay, well, you need $100 million to make this transaction go through, right? It's just like going to the goddamn arcade, man, or certain car washes. Car washes is kind of a bad example because you can actually put money in there. But you go to the arcades, right? When you go into the arcades, like they have a brand name, a good arcade. You can't put money into those machines, man. You can't put your own money into these machines. So what do you have to do? You have to go to the counter. You have to go get tokens, like Chuck E. Cheese type scenario, right? Now, granted, I ain't been to Chuck E. Cheese since I was probably like 4 or 5 years old, but we all know this concept, Dave and Buster's and things, right? You go to these places, like, look, in order to play the game, you need to go get tokens. So I got to go over here to go take $10, right, and turn my $10 into tokens. I might get, 9 tokens back, 8 tokens back, right? So they done made $2 off me just to convert my $10 into $2. This is exactly how this works, man. If you want to play a game inside of here, you can come in. But if you want to play a game, you want to play slots, whatever kind of game you want to play, you need tokens for this, man. All right? And so in order to do all these things, you have to transfer the so-called money. Again, your $10, let's say $10 buy you 8 tokens, right? And the tokens are basically the equivalent to $1. Each token is basically $1, but they're going to charge you 2 tokens or $2 to convert your tokens into it. So now the arcade is making money off you. You putting the money into the machines, they getting that back. But where they're really making the money is the transaction of you getting that exchange of dollars into tokens, man. So, hey, America's just like this. Hey, man, fuck it. Whatever game y'all want to play, y'all gonna need tokens for these things, man. And the only way to get the tokens is you got to come up to the counter, which America's the counter, right? Now, the deal that you want to buy the oil with, let's say Germany and Iran, you may be Iran or you may be Germany, right? And you want to get your pleasures or your oil from Germany, which is the arcade machine. Well, you can't put quarters into that arcade machine. You can't use your own currency, put your money into the arcade machine. No. And the same thing with the prizes. Hey, man, you can't just go up to the counter like, let me buy that teddy bear $5. Ain't it worth 5 tickets? No, look, you got to go over here, turn your money into tokens, turn your tokens to go play the game. From the game, you get these tickets back. This is how you get the stuff behind the counter, which is also another little loophole for like certain businesses. If you can't sell certain things, sell them niggas some tickets, redeem the tickets for it. But anyway, some businesses do shit like that for real. But anyway, Germany and Iran, right? Iran has got the gas, or the video game has got the pleasures that you want. You Germany, you have to go to the counter, which is America, turn your dollars into tokens, right? To go put this into the machine to get the joy out of playing. Let's say you playing the little claw game where you pick up teddy bears and shit, right? Or whatever. Let's not say that game, to get tokens, right? To be able to get this. Now, in order to transfer it back into it, I didn't put X amount of dollars in. First of all, I put $10 in and got 8 tokens back. So they charged me 2 tokens to get that. Now they got me so many tickets. These tickets is worth a little bit less. So now instead of having this bear cost $5 or whatever, right, what the real price is, but they saying I need to have 7 tickets for this. Each ticket is basically supposed to be worth $1, but now I need 7 of these bad boys to get it. So this is how America comes up. So now, as the arcade, you done made $2 off the tokens when they transferred the $10 into tokens. You made another $2 when they made the transfer from the tickets into redeeming the teddy bear or whatever. So you done made $4 off a $5 charge, man. Right? They give you the fair exchange of, hey, well, the teddy bear costs this amount of dollars, so it's a fair exchange. We had equal. But now they made an extra $4 off the transfer of the money into the tokens and then transfer from the tokens back to the gifts. So this is how the petrodollar works. You want to buy gas, Iran and Germany want to do a deal. Germany has to go get $100 million. These are just numbers. They want to buy $100 million in gas. Germany has to go get $100 million regular U.S. money from America to go do this here transaction. They pay that $100 million to Iran, right? Now, Iran is stuck with these $100 million, and then they're like, well, what are we going to do with these things, man? Well, hey, you can either, hold on to these things because you're going to wind up doing oil trades again, so you're going to need this here money. But Germany, on the other end, now they didn't borrowed the $100 million from America. Now it's time for them to pay America back. America don't want $100 million in cash. They don't take cash back, man. They be like, look, we want $100 million in a trade, the value of $100 million in trade, but in reality, you owe us more than that. So let's just say $150 million. So like I said with the tokens, you get them $10, they're going to give you $8 in tokens back because there's a service charge for that, man. You got to pay a little bit of extra for this here stuff, man. You go to the gas station, the grocery store, the ATM machines out, not at your bank, but out and about the stores. You gonna pull $10 out, guarantee you it's gonna be more than $10 for that transaction to take place, man. There's a service fee for it. This is how America stays up on top with this here petrodollar, because everybody needs what? Oil. They need oil for everything. You got a military. What good is your military if you ain't got no goddamn oil to power that shit, man? Look at Europe over there. Like, they got a military and shit, but what good is having a military when the morale is broken because they all freezing to death over there, man? So now they need this here energy. You really got them by the balls because they need this, man. We don't give a fuck how big of a fighter you are, how good you are, this and that, how big your military. If y'all niggas can't breathe, if there's no oxygen, we don't give a damn how big, what your fight streak is. If you, me versus Mike Tyson. Me in my right mind would never want to fight Mike Tyson, but if I know that this nigga can't breathe, he all out of oxygen, and I got an oxygen mask on, oh, I'll fight that fight every damn day. Like, he can't muster up the strength to swing on me if he can't breathe. He's more worried about breathing than anything else. So this is the importance of that oil, that life flow of everything else like that, man. To drive all these machines. So guess what? Now these nations are doing these trades and everything else like that. Now America is not a producer nation; they're a consumer nation. Everything flows into them. We can read about that in Revelation 18, right? Which we're gonna get into, Lord's will, right? They all are a consumer nation. They're bringing things in from these different nations. They get all this. This is how they get all this. The trade. In fact, America pretty much get all their products for free, because again, it's like I said, this is the tax onto doing the business with the petrodollar, man. Yeah, we'll loan you out the money, but then when the money come back, we gonna get extra up off of you, man. Just like how I said, all right, with the arcade, I'm gonna give you $10 so I can get $10 into $10 into tokens, right? All right, well 10 for 10, right? But you only gonna get 8 back. I'm gonna keep these 2. Now me as a store owner, I'm collecting tokens, which these tokens is actually worth money because of this transaction. So now I'm getting money in my pocket. By the end of the day, I done made me $100 just from converting y'all money all damn day long. I didn't really have to sell you anything. Y'all came and exchanged your money. So this is what America's wound up doing, right? Now, when you're going to go and trade all these things back, look, man, some of y'all done lost money and everything, and we got these products for free, right? So this is what you have going on with this here petrodollar. So now, understanding all these things and going back to what I was saying about what happened with these scenarios, right? You have, what's this boy named Saddam Hussein, decided that he was going to sell his oil in what's the shit called, the British pound. He was gonna start selling oil with the British pound. They went over there and invaded his country, all right, blew up his oil fields and wound up killing that man. Look it up. Even after, now when we was in the thicket of it and everything else like that, we thought that he had something to do with that event in September of 2001. But even with Bush and them, after the years that went past and everything, they said, hey, what was going on over there? At first, oh, because he had something to do with that event in 2001. Then they changed the narrative. That's what we all believed in the beginning. They changed the narrative. Nah, we went over there because he had weapons of mass destruction. Okay, well then later on they said, well, what did y'all find on the weapons of mass destruction? Oh, well, he didn't have no weapons of mass destruction. So what did y'all go over there and do all that stuff for, bombing them and bombing the oil fields, and had Halliburton, KBR and Halliburton go and rebuild all those things so that you could own the resources to all those things, right? And you get that oil, the resources. This is what Esau does, man. That's Isaiah chapter 16. I think it's Isaiah 16. Let me find it real quick. Nah, that's Habakkuk actually. Let's go to Habakkuk. There's a version of it in 16 as well too, but Habakkuk 2:5 says, yea, also because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man and neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and as his death cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And appointed him gathering unto him all nations and all these people is for what? The resources, man. Esau's taking the resources. What the hell you think he went over to Iraq for, man? The resources, man. The oil and the oil fields that's over there, man. Same thing you have with I just was speaking about Libya and Syria, all right, and you have what was it? Iraq, Syria, Libya, all right. You had these different nations. Give me 1 second. And you also have it going on in Ukraine. Give me 1 second. All these nations all have what? The resources of oil. Like I said, oil is like oxygen. Your military ain't shit if you ain't got oil, man. I don't give a fuck if you got nuclear weapons. You got every fucking thing. The fastest jets, stealth jets, no matter what the hell you got, man. If you got stealth fighter jets, this hypersonic speed, and your enemy's got prop planes with propellers and crop dusters and shit like that, and y'all going war to war. And these niggas got F-22s, F-35s, shit like that, some new shit that they ain't even released yet, man. Right? If you got all of that and the other guys got crop dusters, but guess what? You ain't got no fuel for your planes, man. And these niggas only got crop dusters and sticks of dynamite. Guess who's gonna win that fight every single time, man? Even though they got a far inferior weaponry than what you got, you ain't got no gas to fuel that shit up, man. You ain't going nowhere. All right? You ain't launching the goddamn thing without no fuel. So they need this here energy, man. And then as we're preparing for war, you need to make sure that you have your lifeline plugged in, man. All right? You what the hell? You don't go to war without counting the cost, man. Hey, they're gonna put your ass under siege. All right? Stop all that trade from coming in and out. How the fuck we gonna eat, man? That's the other thing now. The oil is the lifeblood for the equipment, move equipment around and everything else like that. But also food is for your soldiers. I mean, you can have all the top military equipment, tanks, fighter jets, and everything. If you ain't got people that can maneuver or use these things, what good is having a gun? To me, what good is a fucking F-35? Somebody try to give me an F-35 to me. I mean, you can give me an F-35. I'll just sell that bad boy. But if I can find somebody to buy it. But what the hell am I going to do with an F-35? I don't know how to fly no goddamn plane. Like, would you take an F-35 or would you take $2,000? If I can't sell the F-35, the $2,000 is way more valuable to me. Hell, $100 is way more valuable to me than a goddamn F-35 that I can't fly. If I can't fly, what good is it, man? So, hey, what good is having all this here big military equipment and everything else like that if you can't feed your soldiers, man? Hey, you know what I'm saying? If they starving to death, like, bro, that's one of the biggest things in war. So you need to make sure you got the food on lock, you got fuel on lock, man. Because, again, you need both. Hey, you got all these soldiers, they all fed, they all ready to fight, they all trained up, but you ain't got no fuel to maneuver your tanks, your aircraft carriers. What the hell are you going to do at that point in time, man? So, hey, let us gather up the resources that we're going to need to wage this long-scale war, right? So, hey, Iraq had oil in the oil fields. Halliburton, KBR, Dick Cheney and them, they went over there and rebuilt all that. Guess who's running all that shit, man? All right, Afghanistan is a little different. They had the opium and you had the opium wars and everything that's going on currently here in America, right? But then you had Libya, right? Muammar Gaddafi found two different things out there. Granted, on top of this, he was going to sell his oil in the golden dinar. All right, Muammar Gaddafi found over here in Libya natural spring water that's come out the ground, man. Like some of you people that live out here in the country, you have what they call well water, man. Natural water, primary water, man. All right, it comes from the bottom of it's purified water coming from the ground, man. They found that out there in Libya. What's the water out there in the Middle East is way more valuable than gold, oil, and diamonds. Because why? How the hell you going? What good is all that if all your people out there starving to death, man? This here water is gonna be able to produce for your vegetation and start growing things, and now you got water out in the middle of a desert, man. So that's way more valuable than having the oil itself, man. The oil is just, hey, we just sell the oil. Y'all give us money. Now with the money we can go and buy things that we can trade with. But hey, what's more important than that is water. If we got water in the middle of the damn desert, look at Las Vegas, man. All the grandeur and everything you got in Las Vegas, all the casinos and all the money you got out there is not worth a goddamn thing if they don't have water in Las Vegas. That's a big ass desert. But what's the most important thing to make all that shit run? Bringing water into Las Vegas. Because with the water, you can feed the people, you can keep shit cool, plumbing in the toilet. Think about Las Vegas with no goddamn toilets, no running water, man. You see what I'm saying? That's like one of the... people are looking at the feats of the hotels and all this and that. Like, nah, nigga, the real feat out there is bringing water out there in the goddamn desert, man. So, hey, Muammar Gaddafi found water out in the desert, primary water out there, man. Natural springs. All right, which, hey, we can, all that desert that's out there in northern Africa and stuff like that, we can turn this bitch back green again now, man. All right? Or the other thing that he did was, like I said, he got oil pipelines that's flowing from over there as well, too. It's going back into why, not getting too far into what he started creating these goddamn terrorist groups and things like that. And also in Syria, they had oil pipelines, strategic pipelines that go and feed certain things. Again, Ukraine. What's so important about Ukraine? Not just the strategic location of it being up on the border of Russia, but y'all keep hearing about the Nord Stream pipelines and everything else like that. The day the Nord Stream pipelines got blown up, they activated another pipeline to run the same course, but guess who was behind that one? America and them. Who is those pipelines feeding over there? No, let's just say those European countries don't even like Russia. It's just like you. You may hate your boss. You may hate your job, but hey, look, man, fuck that nigga, man. I wish this nigga would say some shit to me today. I might snap on his ass. You might cuss your boss out, but guess what? You know you got to go to that goddamn job to pay your bills, man. And fuck these niggas. I'm over here just doing my job. Don't you bother me. Don't say. If it was really like that, you would just leave. But you know that you're dependent off of that, man. So the same thing is going on over here, man. All right, you have hey, look, man. We might not like Russia, or we might not be doing business with them, but we know for our survival, we need to get that oil that's coming from up over there, man. The Nord Stream pipelines, man. So we can't really be that mad with them because we need these niggas, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you Jake, I hate my job. I hate my. Oh, if you really hate them that bad, go quit your job, man. I can't, man. All right, you don't hate it that bad, man. All right, you ain't to the fucking point. And now look at these people that's over there, man. So all these scenarios started out with what? You know, did we read that yet? Oh, that's in Isaiah. Well, we'll read this again, and then we'll go over there. Habakkuk 2 and I'll get that in Isaiah as well too. Habakkuk 2 and 5, it says, yea, also because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man and neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire is hell, and his death cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Let me get this in Isaiah. Isaiah 14, like verse 16, I want to say. Nope, verse 9. Yeah, Isaiah 14 and 9. It says, hell from beneath is moved hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirred up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It has raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. So again, overthrowing these governments, overthrowing these people, overthrowing the governments and these people for what? Their resources, man. All right, taking on these